Discord, I'm howling at the moon. Uh-oh, do-do-do-do-do. Did it work? Yes, it did. We are live. A new version of Java is ready to be installed. Click here to continue. Okay, I don't even have my music set up. Jeez Louise, everyone. And I act like I'm a professional YouTuber. No, I am not. I am a noob. I am Babu. I don't know what I'm doing. And I need my royalty-free spooky music. Where's the one with the fire? That one was a good one. Yeah, let's do this one with the nice green background. Don't like, instantly don't like. Ooh, it's that ominous. That got me. I don't know if y'all can hear that. I actually got my earbuds now. I can actually hear what y'all hear. Let me see. I think I'll turn it up just a smidge. It is a little low on your guys' end, so that's fine. Let me know if it needs to be turned up at all. I'm just doing some last minute messing around, you know, copy pasting, putting the link in the description. I should maybe do that for these creepypastas I'm gonna read, but I'm gonna read out the name, who they're by. Cause I don't know, I don't think it's because I'm lazy. I just Where are? What's up, Rich? How you doing, buddy? I am panicking. I am late. I was 5 minutes late. I was 30 minutes late because, you know, I let my computer take a break. I don't know. I'm trying to figure stuff out. Cause it's like, I don't know. Hello, how are you? Like I said, Becca, I'm kind of panicky. Spooky time. I'm just sharing it around, you know, any last minute Discord servers. That way we can see about if we get anyone anyone new in here, maybe, because, you know, like, I'm in Happy Snappy Turtles Discord now. I think I joined in another one that I haven't talked much in yet. Of course, Peekaboos. Becca, how are you doing? The background music? Yes. Welcome to the Spook Fest. I had a friend who was like, because I would do that laugh. And he said my evil laugh wasn't scary to him, because I guess he thought it was a bit more forced, which, I mean, I can understand, because it's definitely not it's definitely different than what my usual kind of thing is. It's much more you know, it's not a it's a lot. I guess it is a lot more forced, because I'm trying to get that deeper range. I'm trying to get that good into my laughs. You know, I'm doing good, Phoenix. Thank you. But you glad to hear you're doing good. I didn't say I'm doing good. I'm panicking. Ugh. But I mean, I guess other than that, I am doing it pretty okay. But hey, howdy. I see Rigid here. This is our, I guess, somehow we turned this this chill Blender stream into a spooky kind of Sunday like streams. Yeah, you evil laugh, you're spooky. Oh boy! Now listen here, Matt Pats. We're gonna do this theory, and you better do it good. Whenever Matt Pat has Voodoo Ferret do the Mickey Mouse voice, those are some of my favorite intros, just because the way they portray, I guess, Disney. Panicking is good too. Sorry, Wi-Fi's messing up. That's fine, Becca. No need to worry. I want to work on the actual project for a little bit before we get into any of the spookiness. So this gives us a chance to talk and catch up, and like I get to see how everyone's been doing. I wanna finish our little gardens we have here. I wanna put some bushes, you know, kind of around. And it's funny because I'm gonna make the bushes the same way I made the rocks. I'm gonna just put in an orb, maybe a cylinder, and then we'll go from there. Did you like our surprise? I did. I saw that. I think I talked about it uh in the chat. If you Okay, I'm gonna tell one of my friends that I'm doing spooky stuff if they want to join the live stream, because she's also into some of that spooky stuff. Did I see it? Yeah, and I said thank y'all for the support. Like, that was really cute, and like I really do appreciate that you guys kind of left that for me. Okay. Uh, so I do want to start off. Okay, let's do that, and then we're gonna go to sculpting tool. Cause see, I want to learn how people make trees in this. Like, they're so good at making trees. Like, I've seen some real good trees, and then I can't make trees worth of poop. It's literally a cylinder and then a bunch of green stuff on there. I don't know. That did literally nothing. Okay. So let's make bark. So I think I'll go to about midnight working on the actual project before we go into the real spooky stuff. So if you don't mind us just kind of chatting and hanging out till then, I will be doing this. Okay. If there's any sort of requests for, I already have one story, maybe two picked out already. The one that is definitely picked out is one of my favorites creepypastas from when I was a child. Uh, Definitely freaked me out when I was a kid. But if y'all have any suggestions or any creepypastas you want to send in my Discord, I guess you can go ahead and leave that in the. Should we have them leave it in the suggestions tab if they join the Discord, or should we just have them post the links? I don't know if y'all can really post links to here in the YouTube chat. By the way, well, I didn't sleep at all last night, but I'm doing alright. Thanks for asking. Also, what do you guys think of my new profile picture on Discord? I think it's very cute. Digimon is awesome. Defeat, you need to sleep, man. Like, you can't do that. That ain't healthy. That's what, 2 nights in a row you haven't slept? Ah, snake. Object mode. Oh, edit mode. Yeah, there we go. Cause I need to make this my little tree. Happy little tree in the desert. We're gonna give it a yellowish tint, but I still want it to be green. A little yellow, maybe a little darker, because I want it to be kind of like a dried tree, you know? We are in a sort of desert, so they're not gonna look the best. Make it a little more yellow. Yeah, that's a bit better. You didn't sleep? I know! Phoenix, please, brother, sleep. Like, was it because Topher wasn't asleep again? Like, I'm sure we all kind of appreciate it. Since the pandemics are, oh, okay. Just in general, I guess. Okay. Because I remember you talking about one time how you don't sleep till you make sure Topher goes to sleep, which, I mean, I'm sure he appreciates it. I think it's real sweet. But you also gotta take care of yourself sometimes. But the pandemic's been rough on everyone, and it's been affecting everyone differently. So I'm sorry I got mad. I'm sorry to hear that, you know, that's what's causing you to not sleep too well. You know you can always talk to me, man, if there's like anything going on that you want to talk about or get off your chest. Hey yo, Kevin, what is going on? You were streaming earlier, weren't you? How's it going? Let me see. You were playing. Yeah, you're playing Jackbox. How did that go? How'd your Jackbox stream go? Put him in the plan. Yeah. Hi, Steven. How are you? Yeah, I like it that everyone kind of talks to each other. So if you're just popping in, just now join us. We are working on our statue sculpture, I guess you can say. Steven, Pixel Steven, what is going up? I'm decent, just dealing with some anxiety issues. Yeah, dude, okay, Steven, like, I'm terrible at reaching out to people, and, like, I've been wanting to say this in the Hangouts chat, I've been wanting to say this on Twitter. Like, I'm not the best always at reaching, like, I'll say it, like, and I mean it. If you need to reach out to me, please do. But I'm terrible at, like, being the first one to really reach out. But, like, I've seen you've, like, I'm a little worried, Steven, because you're talking, you know, about your anxiety, talking about how that one test said you weren't really friendly. But what I saw is that you're very trusting, and that you're very easygoing, and that, Steven, you really are a great guy, okay? I'm happy to call you one of my friends, I'm proud to call you one of my friends. And, like, you are a nice, genuine person, okay? And, like, you know, I love each and every one of y'all. Y'all know that. I consider you all to be my friends, because we've like, each and every one of y'all, I've gotten a chance to, like, talk with and meet up and hang with. And I do hate that you guys are going through everything, and, like, I know I can't always help and do stuff, you know, do certain things. Hindrance Gaming, Anthony, Rich, my brother, I was just about to do some late night work before bed and saw you were live. Wanted to pop in and say hello. What is going on? How was your mini vacation? You're gonna have to tell me and Nick all about that later. You came in at a real kind of touching time, you know, saying how much I love each and every one of y'all. And how, like, if there's ever anything that y'all need, I'll be here. Okay, bet. I'm hearing my backtrack of, like, my stream in my ears because I finally got a new pair of earbuds, and it's throwing me off just a little bit. But yes, like, I worry whenever I see stuff on Twitter. I worry. Oh, I have little devil horns. I worry when, you know, you guys are talking and, like, about anxiety and everything, and so, like, I want to, like, say hi and everything. Bro, it was crazy. I got some stories to share of you and Nick for sure. Ooh, I cannot wait. Okay, see, I don't know. I'm doing that thing again where I just kind of copy paste everything. Like, I do want some variety. What kind of bush? You know what? Let's make a cactus. Let's do a cactus this time instead. But I can't wait to hear if. So, like, I can talk about it a bit more in the three of ours kind of DMs. But I think we can maybe plan something and, like, get some things tested, if you know what I mean. Because you probably do, you know. We'll have to do that pretty soon. Because some things are upon us. Lots of things are in the works. And I cannot wait to officially share it with y'all. But for now, it's still under wraps. And only I don't want to say a select few, but only a few people know. Mostly because they were around when the idea was created. And I don't know why I decided to do a cylinder. I should have done another spear. Can y'all hear the music pretty well? Is the music alright? Yeah. You know what I mean. You know what I mean, Jellybean. He's picking up what I'm putting down. Steven, yeah, I think Steven knows a little bit about it. That is a tiny arm for this cactus. Make it shorter, make it bigger in general. I feel like this cactus overall is just pretty big. Okay, that's fine. You know what, let's rotate this a little because everything isn't perfectly straight, you know? Sometimes you gotta have those weird angles in your life that just make it worth living. Zoop, zoom. This is a very lengthy or he's very awkward. He's just like his creator, I guess you can say. Just an awkward. You know what? I like it though. I like it. Shrink it down, make it tall, make it yeah, that works. Hey, Mr. Game and Steven, how are you guys? Yay! I'm so glad everyone's kind of talking in the chat. You know what I just realized? I made my cactus kind of. I made my plants kind of the color I wanted my cactus to be. You know what? I'm kind of liking this kind of yellow cactus. It's kind of light yellow, light green, maybe a little darker. Yeah, that's a nice looking cactus. I don't think I'll really give him any spikes or quills, but you know what? This is what I want. We'll rotate him just a smidge. Yeah, that's a nice little cactus. Oh no, we didn't finish our rocks. Who did not get a rock? Mr. T, Doom, Phoenix, Chibi, Reese. Yeah, we have to make more rocks. I'm awesome to see your growth lately. I stepped away from stuff and work at about 70 some subs and you were right with me. Now you're over 100. That's freaking great, dude. Thank you so much, man. I've been on this grind. And it certainly wasn't just me. Like, I wouldn't have made those leaps and bounds if it wasn't for Snappy Turtle, if it wasn't for Steven, you know, getting to know him a bit. If it wasn't for Kevin, I think Kevin's rated me once or twice, which I need to rate him back. I think I've done it once, but I need to do it again. I've had people like Mikey. I think Mikey was who we rated last Sunday. He's the one who got us over Papa Aragorn. Like, I just want to say a thank you to like each and every one of them, even if they're not here. I still very much appreciate it. I hope eventually, you know, I'll be able to get more views that kind of correlate with the subs, but that's wishful thinking right now, and I still just really appreciate the fact that I was even able to hit that milestone. Gaming didn't get a rock. Yeah, gaming didn't, because we got Nick and we got Steven, but I haven't given gaming one. I haven't given Anthony one. Anthony, what's your favorite color? I don't think I know that yet. We'll do your rock right now. You're grinding for sure. Yeah, no, like. And Anthony, you've been doing your own kind of grinding. I know we kind of talked about it before. How like you're doing your kind of IRL grinding, and like I wish you the best in luck in all of that, because I know that's a lot tougher than trying to do YouTube. Excuse me as I take a drink as I. Oh wait, which one was me? Okay. So we won't give you all the full roll call. I think it was this one. Yeah. So this one right here, Steven, this kind of light blue one is you. It's kind of based off of your YouTube picture. Red, cobalt blue, or steel gray. Okay. Let's see. We got a lot of. Let's try and go for a red or a gray. But we have this one. That's Steven. Let me see. So this is Mr. T. Doom, who we had last week. Also, oop, I'm sorry, hit my mic. Also, last Friday. We got Phoenix, who was a nice kind of orangey phoenixy color. We got Reese, who was a brown. Becca here. Or no, where's Eiffel? This is Eiffel. Becca right here, which is kind of a lightish gray blue. We got Steven, of course. He's a little bit on the lighter side. Light blue heart. I knew you would like it. We got Loki, his kind of dark blue that his profile picture is. Here is Eternal, kind of the Salamence reddish color. We have Peekaboo, kind of Peekaboo's quote color. Price, since he has a Turtwig, we decided to go with green. Next up is Happy Snappy, who again is kind of that darkish. It's my favorite Pokemon from Gen 5 because it's a turtle. Thanks, dude. Being thrust into a manageable position amongst a pandemic has been nutso, but doing my best to make it work. I know! So, like, I'm really happy for you that you're able to take a break and just step away from all that. Because, like, I'm sure, like, you've been working your butt off. and like I find it really admirable. And I don't know how long I'll be able to do this, so it's like I hope I can get that kind of work ethic like I used to have back. Anthony, do you want to be tall? Or do you want to be a bit chunky? I think I don't know. We'll make you kind of tall. We'll just keep it. This is literally my method for rocks, is just adding and subtracting like spaces to it, which is terrible. It's a terrible way to try and model rocks. Actually, it's not. I think they look pretty okay. Like, well, for low poly, they look okay. How you like this? Is there anything you want me to cut off on, add on to? I kind of like this little jetted side, but if you want me to cut that down, this is you, man. Like, this is kind of your representation. I think everyone else was kind of made when they were going in and out. We got 5 more minutes before the spookiness happens, and I think for that we'll do what we did before we had Doom on as a guest, where I read one, I'll work for 10-15 minutes, and then I'll read another one. But this one, thank you, dude. I'd say taller if possible. 6 feet is tallish. Yeah, 6 feet is tallish. We'll give you some more height. So you and Reese are both kind of gonna be our tall rocks here. Let's maybe subtract just a smidge there. But we'll definitely add a little bit more height. There you go. You got a nice chunky tall boy. Yeah, I'm liking that. I'm liking it. Okay. So we got our boy Hindrance, we got our boy Anthony, we got our boy Gaming, who, if you look him up, he's at 70 subs, like he said. Check out everyone. Although I think everyone's kind of a content creator, and I think everyone always kind of supports and loves each other. So I guess plugs kind of worthless. But check out each and every one of y'all nonetheless, because y'all deserve it. He said, I know he said steel gray, cobalt blue, and he said just red. Let's go pink. No, okay. Let's make him a nice bright red. Of course, we'll trim him down. How's that? Kind of a maroonish color, a maroon lava rock kind of color. I like that. I definitely do like that red. It's kind of a ground on red, now that I actually kind of get a good look at it. We'll have to give Mikey a rock. We'll have to give some other people rocks. I like my little waterfall though I made. Like, I guess kind of from the single. I hope this all turns out real good. Well, stay tuned for eventual content to resume someday. I know it will. I know it's a balancing act right now, and I know work, since you're short-staffed, it probably has you busy all the time. But you will be back. You, me, and Nick will be doing that tri-link eventually. Looks great. Alright. Well, it's 10:58. I don't think I'll be able to really get anything else going. So why don't I just kind of zoom out a little, get y'all that nice kind of view. Yeah. Look, you can still see Anthony. Hello. And I think we'll get ready to tell some scary stories, shall we? I guess if you guys want, for those who did come into the spookiness, maybe should I tweet out saying we're starting the spooky time now? Like we're starting the actual spooky story? Because I'm sure that's what people come in to see, and that's not so much me building such and such. But let me get Streamlabs open actually as my main screen on my computer. I met a streamer on Twitch recently, and I found that they're from Texas, so I made friends with a friend from Texas, and I didn't even know. Wow, that's a lot of that's a lot of Texas. And that ain't too much. So like, I was thinking before I even start, like how I do kind of our spooky story stuff. Like, for some reason, the thought went across my mind, like, what if we got Gaijin Goomba on here? Gaijin Goomba's a resident Texan. He does yokai and scary ghost stuff. What if we got him on? I was like, that's never gonna happen, unless. But that was still kind of like a funny thought to have. Was just like getting someone who I really look up to like come on and hang out and everything. I'm honestly so looking forward to working with you and Nick on just about going forward. It'll be comic gold for sure, whatever aspect it's made in. It really would be, and like, again, like I wish I could meet each and every one of y'all, cause like it's just been so much fun, like getting to know everyone. And I'm at this man. His name is Lightning Pharaon. Apparently, he subbed to me 2 days ago, and of course, Streamlabs never tells me anything. But a big thank you to that guy if he's in here. I'm gonna take a swig of water, and we are gonna get started. Okay. Whew. Gotta calm down. Gotta get the hype out. And we must get ready for the story. This one is a personal favorite. I don't think it tells me who made it, unless I scroll all the way to the bottom. It's kind of long, I must say. This creepypasta is from the Creepypasta fandom. You know what? Let's go ahead. URL copied. We'll post it in the chat. You guys can follow along. Likewise, as I said before, if you ever find yourself about to fly into Philadelphia for the weekend, right? Mini vacay or something, Mikasa Sukasa, amigo. Definitely. Yo! That would be an awesome, like, thing to do. God, I wish I had the money to, like, visit everyone. Hold up, I gotta send this friend lots of hearts to let them know that they are appreciated and that no matter what, they will forever be my bestie. Yeah, you know what? We can throw that peace sign in there too. Okay, so as we get started now, this creepypasta is called Ashamed. Far down the road, you know, COVID and such, yeah. So as I read, I'm gonna not interact with chat as much as I probably should. It's because I'm kind of reading the story, getting everyone in that nice reading mood. So if I don't read y'all's chats as I'm reading the creepypasta, I will definitely be going back through it. So, it was one of those cloudy, rainy days. I'll show you my gaming office, IRL, someday for sure. Yes! I must see that gaming office. It was one of those cloudy, rainy days. I was actually kind of glad for that. I hated the sun. Indoors is more my thing. Anyways, before I accidentally get off subject, my dad was going to this indoor volleyball thing. I didn't really pay much attention to the details as I don't care much for sports. I asked if I could stay in the car and he said it was fine. As soon as he left, I locked the car, as I am very paranoid. Then I turned the radio to my favorite station and turned up the volume as loud as I could without busting my eardrums. Now that I had felt comfortable, I pulled out my Game Boy, which I had brought with me. Inside it was fire red. I turned the volume on my Game Boy down, as I wanted to listen to the radio while I played my game. It had been a while since I last played the game. When my save file loaded, I found myself to be standing on Treasure Beach, that island below One Island. I opened the menu and clicked on my Pokemon to find my normal party, except for a Dratini that I normally didn't use that had an XP share. I wondered why I was trading that Dratini the last time I played. Shrugging it off, I exited the menu and flew back to the Pokemon Center at One Island. I went to the PC and reveled in the memories all my Pokemon I had caught there brought back to me. After looking through all the boxes, I got bored. I didn't really know what to do. Then I got an idea. I was going to stop being lazy and level up my team so I could finally beat the Elite Four. I never really found any good training places in the game as to why I never beat the Elite Four, but I had nothing else to do, so I thought I might as well train them up. I may not be able to stay long enough, everything freaks me out when it comes to creepypasta things. Steven, I am the same, but honestly, I've been enjoying these readings. I took the EXP share away from the Dratini and placed it in a box I had that was full of Dratinis. This left me with a 5-man party Pokemon. 5 Pokemon party. Spark the Zapdos, Flame the Charizard, Machoke, Pidgeotto, and Golduck. My last 3 didn't have nicknames. I thought I'd find a different and better water Pokemon to replace my Golduck. I didn't really like his moveset, and just in general, he wasn't really special to me. The main reason why I had him was so I could have a Pokemon that knew Surf. After a bit of thinking, I decided I would just keep him, because I didn't feel like training another Pokemon up to his level of 51. Then I realized I should probably find a 6th Pokemon, since I had space for one more. I was eager to start training though, so I thought I would find another Pokemon later. I saved, left the Pokemon Center, and surfed back to Treasure Beach. I gave the XP share to Machoke, as he was currently the weakest with Spark in the front of my party. I started training. The wild Pokemon were in the levels around late 30s to early 40s. They were very easy brought down, as most of the Pokemon I fought Spark had a move that was super effective against them. While battling, I sang along loudly with the songs playing on the radio. After 30 minutes, Spark and Machoke had gone up quite a few levels. I saved the game and continued training. During one of my battles, I randomly started thinking about shiny Pokemon, and how someone I knew on the internet had said to make sure you always had Pokeballs with you, in case one showed up, and how pretty they looked. After the battle, I checked to see if I had any Pokeballs. I found I have a ton of Ultra Balls. I felt satisfied, and continued training, although I knew chances of me finding a shiny then and there were very slim. I'm gonna drink some water. I forgot how long this one was. After beating a couple of Tangela and thrashing a Meowth, I ran to a male Persian. I practically screamed when I saw the stars fly around it. I kept yelling, "Oh my god! Holy crap!" and the like for a few minutes while staring at the screen in shock. I couldn't believe I actually found a shiny. This wasn't my first though, as I had run to a shiny Snover but accidentally fainted it, as I didn't know what a shiny was back then, and I had caught my own shiny Flygon with some help from my little sister. This still was a very exciting moment for me, as it would have been to any of you. By the way, I'm hearing you read this in the darkness. The more so to be enticed by my voice and the mysteries of this story. I loudly cursed profanity, as I remembered my entire team was made up of high-level powerhouses. A sense of hopelessness washed over me as I searched through my Pokemon summaries to see if any of them had weak moves, which none of them possessed. A little hope sparked in me as I checked Golduck's summary, as he was the weakest in my party then. He had the move Rock Smash, which, despite being a fighting move that was super effective to normals, it didn't do much damage. He was my only hope, so I switched him out with Spark. The shiny Persian attacked with Payday, which didn't bring forth much damage to Golduck. After its turn was over, I chose for my Pokemon to use Rock Smash. Thankfully, it only took off about a fourth of Persian's HP. After attacking me again with another Payday, I decided one more Rock Smash would be good. I hit it with Rock Smash again. It was a critical hit. I screamed in rage as the shiny Persian fainted. I kept throwing profanity at the Golduck despite me knowing it wouldn't accomplish anything. After many moments, I finally cooled down. I decided I would just put it all behind me and forget it ever happened. I thought Spark was shit enough, so I switched it out with Pidgeotto and started leveling him up. After about 15 minutes of battling, I started to get cheery again. I sang along with some of the radio songs about to boost my spirits. After a while, I thought Pidgeotto had enough training, so I checked my Pokemon to see which one would train next. Spark had enough training. Flame was already at an incredibly high level. Machoke had enough training since he held the XP share the whole time. Pidgeotto was done. So all that was left was Golduck. I still personally blamed him a little for making the shiny Persian faint, even though it was the game that decided when critical hits happen. But I switched him out for Pidgeot and started training him anyways. I didn't train him for long though. He kept missing too often. And when he actually did hit the Pokemon, it didn't do much damage. I kept training him hopelessly, hoping this would eventually stop. But it didn't. Useless piece of crap, I muttered as he missed hitting a Meowth. Just then though, something very odd happened. The radio started to static. It would cut off, come back on, have static, go off again, and come back on. It kept doing that for a solid minute until it finally just shut off. I sat in my seat and whimpered like a dog. At the time, I had recently been watching one too many scary videos, and the fact that it had become foggy outside didn't help either. I decided I would turn up the volume on my Game Boy to drive the silence away. The music emitted from the Game Boy sounded reassuring, and I tried to push what just happened to the back of my mind. I walked a bit in the grass, and a wild Tanglu appeared. During the battle, though, there was no music. Sound effects still played. My Golduck started acting strange, though. Whenever he missed, the animation would play for him like when your Pokemon gets hit with Astonish. Golduck was still missing too often, so I switched him out with Flare and ended the battle quickly. The next Pokemon we ran into was a wild Persian. I'd have hoped it would turn out to be a shiny, but of course it didn't. There was still no music and the sound effects still played. When I selected for Golduck to attack though, he refused to. This text would appear: Golduck is too ashamed to attack. I was getting very worried at this point. This definitely wasn't normal. I had no idea what to do. Once the text box went away, the Persian attacked with Payday. Golduck surprisingly went down in that one hit. I brought a Flare afterwards who beat the Persian in one turn. After the battle, I checked Golduck's summary. Everything was still the same, except for his nature, which had changed. Instead of adamant, like it used to be, it was now ashamed. I was scared, to say the least, as I had never before encountered anything like this in one of the games before. I exited from the menu and walked in the grass, with Flare now in the front. I jumped when the radio station suddenly came back on. After taking a moment to recover, I started to feel relieved. I then assumed that the whole mess must have to do with Golduck. I decided I would just not use him for a while and hope things would eventually get back to normal. More water. What's a spooky story spooky when you read on or listen to it in the darkness? I am listening. Better not turn around, or you'll see me whispering in your ears. I flew back to the Pokemon Center on one island and healed my Pokemon, saved, and went to the PC. I decided I would use my Hypno as my 6th Pokemon. He was already a decent level, and only needed a little train to be in range of my other team. I put Golduck in the PC, and hoped when I was done training Hypno that he would be better. It didn't take long at all for Hypno to be in the same level range as the other Pokemon. Once I was done training him, I flew back to the Pokemon Center and saved. Then I got my Golduck out of the PC and fed him a couple of Candies. I really wanted to go ahead and beat the Elite Four then, and I didn't feel like training another water Pokemon to replace Golduck. I just had hoped things were back to normal with him. I flew to the Indigo Plateau, bought a ton of items, and went to challenge the Elite Four. They were surprisingly easy, and I practically flew through them. But the battle against my rival was a different matter. It was a very tough fight, and eventually it was down to his Arcanine and my Golduck. They were both down to little HP. This was it! I just couldn't fail now. I ordered for my Golduck to use Surf. With his Quick Claw, he was able to go first. The Surf animation started to play, and my heart started frantically beating. But, in the middle of the animation, the giant tidal wave stopped and disappeared. Golduck can't concentrate. Surf failed. What? I screamed at my Game Boy as Arcanine finished off Golduck with Bite. I started yelling at my Golduck for failing me on a critical moment yet again. It was partly my fault, as I should have known better than to use Golduck in the Elite Four when he had been messing up, but I didn't care. The game then returned me to the Pokemon Center that was right before the Elite Four. I thought about turning off the game, but my Pokemon had leveled up a lot during the battles, so I decided to save it instead. I then went immediately to the PC to put Golduck in it, but the game wouldn't let me. Golduck is sorry and won't mess up again. That message appeared every time I tried to put him in my PC. Screw this! I muttered to myself as I clicked on Golduck and selected Release. Thankfully to me at least, he left without a complaint. After a couple of minutes I thought that might have been a rash decision. Before I knew it, I had turned the game off and back on, as I hadn't saved when I released my Golduck. I wanted him back to give him one more chance. When the game finished loading up though, Golduck still wasn't in my party. Regrets quickly washed over me, and I felt awful for letting him go like that. I told myself that there was nothing I could have done to fix him, but I didn't fully believe it. Remorsefully, I went to the PC to pick out another water Pokemon to replace my lost Golduck. I pretty quickly decided I would use my female Dragonair named Silver, as I greatly loved the Pokemon's design. I decided I just forget the whole Golduck event ever happened and that he ever existed. Just as I had with the shiny Persian, which I then cursed myself for remembering. I flew to Vermilion City and sailed out to one island. As soon as I landed on the island, I surfed down the Treasure Beach to train Silver. I didn't get a chance to train her though, as when I walked further down the beach, I found a Golduck sitting in the middle of the grass. Its back facing towards the screen. Getting a bit scared, I walked forward and talked to it. Golduck is dreaming. As soon as that text disappeared, a battle started. The background was different. He was a purple and looked sort of misty. There was also no music, but sound effects played. A male shiny Persian appeared, but it seemed lighter than normal, kind of like a ghost. Golduck came out on the side of the screen where I should have been, but I couldn't control him. Golduck went first and used Rock Smash, which took out the 1/4 of the Persian's HP. The opposing feline used Payday, which didn't do much damage to Golduck. The blue duck then used Rock Smash again, which was a critical hit that knocked out all of the shiny's HP. But instead of fading, the Persian remained. It used Payday and knocked a little of Golduck's HP down. Golduck would attack, but each time he missed. The shiny eventually had the blue duck's HP down to a sliver. Golduck used Surf and actually worked, but the animation cut off halfway across the screen, and the shiny Persian took no damage. Instead of using Payday to finish him off, like it had been used before, it attacked with Bite. Golduck fainted, and the battle ended. Once everything faded back to Treasure Beach, a text appeared. Golduck jumped and woke up. Then an exclamation point popped up above Golduck's head, along with more lines of text. Golduck is shocked to see you. Then Golduck's sprite started shivering with more text. Golduck is ashamed. Then another battle started. The background looked the same as a normal fight on Treasure Beach, green and blue. When Golduck appeared, his sprite looked different. There were streaks under his eyes where it looked like he had been crying. His eyes looked slightly red and swollen too. When my trainer came out, she stayed there instead of throwing out any Pokemon. The battle went on without me choosing anything. Golduck used Quick Claw. I wondered how he could use Quick Claw in a battle like that. But before I could think too much about the matter, I found out Golduck's sprite shivered, and his sprite changed. A Quick Claw appeared to be stabbed into his stomach, with crimson blood surrounding it. His HP dropped to 0, and he fainted. The battle didn't end though. A male, shiny Persian appeared on the other side of the screen. Except it was louder than normal, just like in Golduck's dream. It let out its battle cry and then faded from the screen. The battle ended. Once the game had faded back to Treasure Beach, Golduck was gone. I stared at the screen, my hand shaking a bit. I let out a slight scream as I heard the knocking on the car's door. Relief washed over me as I saw it was just my dad locked outside the car. I unlocked the car and he came in and told me that the game took a little longer than he thought. Thought it was going to and he was sorry. I said it was alright, and I didn't mind. He started up the car and we left. When I looked at the radio's clock, it was 6:58. I had started playing my Game Boy around 3:40. All of what had happened on my Fire Red had only taken 3 hours. I sighed and continued playing my game. Nothing else strange happened to the rest of the night or the next day. Eventually, I beat the Elite Four with my team, but the victory felt hollow without Golduck. After I beat the Elite Four, I felt so awful for getting rid of Golduck that I decided I would catch a male Psyduck, raised to be a Golduck, and teach it the same moves as my old one. It wouldn't be exactly the same as my old Pokemon, but it was the closest I could get to having him back. So I did just that. The Psyduck I caught also had an adamant nature to boot, just like the old. Sometime during training my new Golduck, I went back to Treasure Island. Everything went normally until we hit level 51. Right after he leveled up, we ran to a wild male shiny Persian. I knew it was too much to be just a coincidence, but I didn't really care at the point. I still wanted that shiny Pokemon. I used Rock Smash on it, which took away 1/4 of its HP, and he attacked me with Payday. Golduck hit it again with Rock Smash. It was a critical hit. Man, I remember that being a lot more creepy as a kid. Yeah, like, I remember reading that and, like, just completely freaking out. I don't know, talking like that kind of feels like it takes a lot out of me. But that used to be one of my favorite ones, even though I only read it once as a kid. I think it was just because it was, like, around the rise of creepypastas, which happened about the same time I was getting into Pokemon. And, like, back then I couldn't handle blood. I still can't really handle blood too well. But I think what got me the most when I was a kid was just the whole, like, Golduck used Quick Claw. It stabbed itself in its stomach, with a bright red blood appearing around it. Like, I don't know, dude, as a kid it just felt a lot crazier. But that was the story of the of Ashamed. Let's see. I do have another one up, and this one's a lot shorter. I remember reading a scary one for this one too. It's about the buried alive thing. I've been listening while playing Oxygen Not Included. Digimon Creepypasta? Is there any Digimon Creepypasta? Digimon Creepypasta. Yeah, apparently there is. I think this is a weird one. I don't know. I scrolled down and read like a really weird line off of it. This one's... Okay, so there's two Digimon creepypastas we can probably read. Started at 10:15, so we'll be going on to about 12:15. Let's see if we can add any more rocks. Who else can get a rock? I actually don't know. But how'd you guys like Ashamed? Again, I remember liking that a lot more, or like being creeped out by it a lot more as a kid. Like, I think again it had to do with like the fact that I was, I guess, a kid. And way back when, anything remotely scary would just scare me off, legitimately. Hydrate, please. You got it. I am pretty thirsty after reading that creepypasta. But honestly, I'm just glad I was able to find it. Because I think that was one of my first instances of creepypasta, was the Pokemon Golduck one. And I think another one, was like a Pokemon Gold creepypasta. Which I actually don't remember that one besides maybe the title. I think it might have had to do with the Lavender Town kinda buried alive creepypasta. I actually don't remember. But yeah, that was Ashamed. And like I said, if anyone has any sort of creepypasta or anything they want to... You know what, should we... Becca, G, everyone, should I make a... sort of creepypasta / scary story... chat in my Discord? And that way, maybe put it under suggestions, that way... if you guys have any, I love it. I got so afraid that I turned on the TV and I ate some pork. But yeah, I think I will make that kinda have sort of our own little Discord for if there's any other creepypastas or anything you guys want me to do. So I'm still a kid since I got scared. I feel like there's like telling the scary story feels a bit different. I don't know. I want to find that old like nursery rhyme. I found it. Rafi. Canadian singer. Oh, he was Egyptian. Interesting. Okay. I'm gonna share this with you and Nick, but I used to write my own original Star Wars fanfic. I can show you that someday. I mean, if you wanna pop on in, Hindrance, you know, we can do something in a week or two. Because the plan was for tonight was to have Mr. T on and then have us all talk about DC superheroes and everything. Because I didn't know if this should be like a sort of spooky thing, or if it should just be a more community thing where I just get people who have a lot of ideas and everything to get on. But like, if you want to come on and like, you can read your fanfic or you can talk about it, like, you are more than welcome to come on, join me on a Sunday. I think I'm gonna try and get Mr. T on next Sunday. So if you want to try and get on the Sunday after that, if I'm not busy, then we totally can read and talk about your Star Wars fanfic. And I think I'm gonna put it... Ah, man. I could put it under YouTube's. Yeah. Because it's... We'll put it under chats for now. I think I can move it. If it wasn't 2:30 a.m. for me and I didn't have to be in the office tomorrow morning, I would love to come on and share it with you. Ooh, that's right. Oh man. Creepy pasta. Or should we should say Spooky Sunday. We'll call it Spooky Sunday Links. It's gonna be a text channel. It's gonna be right in our chat section. Possibly so they can do another day. Yeah. Let me know if it's like every Monday you have to come in. Cause I like trying to keep these on like a Sunday. Cause I don't know, like I don't know how it really turned into like this whole kind of spooky fest, but it was supposed to originally be like more of a creative art day. Or like I work on my 3D stuff and then y'all can draw or write or do legitimately anything you guys wanted. But it turned into whatever it is now, which I think is pretty funny. Cause like that, it totally wasn't meant to be some sort of spooky, scary thing. But now it's kind of like every week I read something or talk about something scary now. And I mean, I'm totally fine with that. Like, I am more than fine than having like a sort of cryptid, like live stream series. Gaming, where are you from? As Phoenix asks. Let's see. Let me go grab someone from the Hangout sesh. Actually, you know what? Well, I guess we already do have a pinkish purple rock right there. Let's get ourselves. I think a Bree. Yeah, let's get a Bree. What's Bree's favorite color? Does anyone know? Steven, what's Bree's favorite color? Let's see, what's he doing? What's Bree doing? I'm asking him to hang out chat. We'll see if he replies. I want to give Bree his own special rock. How many rocks do we have here now? I know I joked last time I was gonna have 40, but I ended up being 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. That's only 15. Hey, Price, welcome in. You just missed us telling the story of the Ashamed Psyduck, and I was also asking Bree what colors. He's not in here, but I tagged him and asked what his favorite color was. Ooh, it's blue. Thank you. Like royal or ocean blue. Okay. Let's see, I'm doing well. I'm glad to hear you're doing well, Bryce. Okay, what's a royal blue look like? Because I don't know. Royal blue. Yeah, I guess it's kind of the blue we'll be making. It's similar to Snappy's. It's gonna look like. Don't worry. Don't worry, I told him I'm naming a rock after him. Because he said he was scared. But let's see. Let's make his a bit darker. Yeah, Snappy's is a bit more gray. So we'll make his a nice blue. Ooh. Oh yeah. We'll see if we can get him in the stream. But this is Bree. This is Bree's rock. I feel like I should put maybe more plants. Ooh, we can put maybe some more planty plants. Let's make a plant real quick, and then we'll go on to another spooky story. I don't know. I'm gonna make these a little fries. They're just gonna be real skinny. Maybe not that skinny. What? A campfire? Okay. I see. You want to say goodnight to everyone since you're going to bed?
Yeah, night shirt.
Okay. My brother says goodnight. Good night. A little cameo. But yeah, let's. I wanna make it maybe a little bit of a pointed plan. Boop, boop. You know what? It's off, but that's a-okay. Oop, not that way. This way. Sweet. And then we'll just. Okay, we'll make it a bit bigger, I guess. I don't know. I don't know how to make plants. Because I was literally just gonna do this, and then it was gonna like copy paste or duplicate. Or shifty. I was gonna do this, and then I was gonna rotate this on the Y. And then that's shifty, all of that. Rotate on the Z. Do it on the Y. Like this is literally all I was gonna do for my little plan. But we'll do that. We'll make this plant real quick, and then we'll get into. Hey, Rich Nick, what is going on? Like I told Price, you guys just missed our creepypasta. It wasn't as creepy as I remember it, but I guess it was still creepy nonetheless. We're currently making just a real quick kind of planty plant. Because you know we made ourselves some bushes, we made a cactus, but we need ourselves kind of a leafy thingy majiggy. So we are going to do one of these, and we'll rotate it on the Y like that. Nick, my brother, everyone's popping in, man. That's so awesome. I think I just need one more of these guys. Boop, boop. And I can't really grab his base. That's fine. Nope. I can do this. Rotate on the Z. 180. Oh yeah. Blender hacks with the boys. There we go. A nice kind of leafy plant. We'll call this grass. I'm in PA, by the way. Sorry, I missed your question. PA, that's I feel like that's Pennsylvania. Yeah. Beautiful. Okay. Has anyone else, if anyone in the Discord, have any of y'all submitted a spooky story yet? Or am I gonna read one of those two kind of Digimon ones I found? We'll put one over here. We'll shrink it down. Jeez Louise, man, it sounds like someone's being chased outside my room. Do another one. We'll put this other one over here. Give it some life, you know. Maybe not clipping into rocks, but that's fine. I hope everyone's having a great day or night. Yeah, I hope so too. Actually, I hope everyone's enjoying this little spooky stream. I hope all these aren't floating. Yep, you're good. And cactus is good. Cool. Let's see. Do I got any orange ones? I do, actually. Let me see, which one's Nick? I think this one's you, Nick, actually. Nick, this is your rock? I made you green because of Snivy. Good to know, Nick. Yeah, I just chilling got scared of the creepypasta stories. This one here is Phoenix, though. This Phoenix is so far our only real orange one. And then I guess once we finish this little part, we'll go through and we'll kind of do the roll call of all my little buddies, all my little planty buddies. Right now I'm just kind of littering up some shrubbery around the place. Just again to give it kind of some life. Should give him some different angles. Oh, make this one a little taller. Okay, maybe not that tall. Come on. Ah, yes, green is my second favorite color. Woo! I got it right. Because it was kind of like I didn't know what to give you yet at that moment. So it's kind of like, I'll just make him green because it's sniping. Okay. Orange and green are really close together on my list. Well, I'm glad to hear I did pretty good. Okay, I think that's enough kind of mini shrubbery on this side. Okay. Now that we've added a bit more detail, gotten some progress done, I'm gonna drink more water. I might actually have to go get a refill. Yep, I'm out of water. I'm gonna see if anyone, if y'all can. Nothing yet for Spooky Sundays. Maybe I shouldn't even put Spooky Sunday link. I'll just call it Spooky Sunday. Ooh, Spooky Sunday stories. Yeah. So anyone can go ahead and post something in there. Nick, I miss you and appreciate you every single day. Yes, we all do. And tomorrow, Nick, we'll be actually playing some Mystery Dungeon if you want to pop in. Excuse me. I'll wait 4 more minutes, and if no one posts any sort of creepypasta or any sort of scary stories in the hashtag brand new Spooky Sunday Story chat, then I'll go ahead and I'll read one of the ones that that Phoenix suggested, which was you wanted a Digimon one, and I found 2, so I'm gonna read the first one that just kind of pops up on the list. But if y'all have any personal favorites, if y'all have anything in mind, please let me know. Also, I love you. Thank you. Of course. Mystery Dungeon and Guardian Signs will be switching off every week, every Monday. So last week we played Pokemon Guardian Signs. This week we'll play Mystery Dungeon. And that way our Pokemon streams stay fresh. We will still do a Gato Roboto stream and have one more on that one. I think the Platformer Wednesdays is gonna stay that game every Wednesday, and then Fridays has turned into sort of a community day as well. We'll play just about anything. Wow, I'm from Florida, USA, so I'm also an East Coast guy. Yes. Yes, Bree. A rock. Okay, I think I have to send. I'm gonna send this in the art chat. I'm gonna send Bree's rock to him. Boop a doop soup soup. Okay, that's the one thing I hate about this program. Is that sometimes it can be a bit hard to like move and focus in on certain objects. I got a rock. Kevin, do you have a rock? Oh no, I didn't. I don't think I've given Kevin a rock yet. Mr. T, Doom, Phoenix, Becca, Reese, Nick, Steven, Loki, Eternal. Kevin, I haven't given you a rock. Kevin, quick! What's your color? What's your favorite color? Kevin, quick! I need your favorite color, Kevin. Yes, I'll play through the post story. I don't know how to. We'll just grind, I guess. Can I? Let's see how this looks kind of rendered. Well, it's pitch black. I'll tell you that much. Because we don't have a powerful enough light source going around. Blue. No, we have another blue. Okay. Uh, we'll put Kevin all over here. Cause I don't. We will. Okay. I'll ask him what kind. But I don't know. I don't want blue. Yeah. I guess I do have blue already right there. It's fine. It's fine. We'll put blue next to each other. Kevin and Bree together forever. Really low? Okay. Cool. And I guess by the time we finish making Kevin's rock, we'll have the newest link to any sort of scary story. So let me go back to my sculpting tool. And just doop a doop a doop. Doop a doop, boop a doop. Boop a doop, boop boop. Doop a doop boop. Boop a doop boop boop boop. Boop boop. Boop a doop. And let's give it a nice point. Because Kevin likes himself a good Lucario boy. And so what we will do is sort of similar to what we did to our, what Pokemon was it? The Cranidos Pokemon? Okay, we'll select it all. We got Kevin. Because apparently I capitalized the E. We'll make him... yeah, make him a little darker. There we go. That's a bit more Lucario blue, I think. Scoot it over just a smidge. Maybe scoot it up, scoot it over. And then we shall select this top part. And just like the many spikes on a Lucario, we shall make this just a plain old silvery gray. And now we have our Kevin Lucario like, and that is spiky, I must say. Please don't fall on this rock, guys. It will hurt a lot. Come on. I just got that one little bit. There we go. So now we have a Lucario rock. That's very deadly. Okay. So let me go ahead and go check the Livestream Club Discord, which we shall see if anyone's posted anything. Test. Really cheesy. Okay. The Bride Story. Okay. The Bride. We might have to find a more specific, like, link for that one, because I'm sure I'm going to get a whole bunch of, like, wedding places. You know what, we'll leave it on this. So I guess we shall read Digimon: The Unseen Episode, and I'll look into the Bride Story as well later on. If you guys give me like 2 minutes, can I get some water? Is it okay if I get some water, guys? If I had a face cam, I'd be doing the little finger thingies. I'm gonna wait because I don't know how far behind the stream is. It's a little bit behind. Can I get some water? And I'll leave y'all with the ominous music. Doing the finger thing still. Yes? Okay, good. Okay. I'll be right back. I don't know why I'm going like this. Ooh woo. Can I get some water, please? Little bit of water. Little bit of aqua. Okay. I'll be right back. I'll see y'all in 2-ish minutes. And we'll be there with the tale of the unseen episode. Hello, and welcome back to our spooky Sunday stories, accompanied by various royalty-free music and some 3D modeling. And Steven, what the fuck was that? Was that the video? Like, it just suddenly went static and actually kind of scared me. I did not like that static. Yo, we have 6 likes, thank y'all. Okay, so before we get started with the Digimon Unseen episode, I think this was an old nursery rhyme that I used to sing as a kid. So I guess I'm gonna just kind of sing this for y'all. It's very short, you know. It's a kid song, but I remember it was like kindergarten, maybe pre-K. Like, I think this was during my time at the Catholic school that I went to when I was real little back in Florida. Correction, 7 likes. Hi, correction again. We're at 8. Thank y'all so much. Thank y'all. 8 likes for me. 8 likes for you, Becca. See, sometimes I'm very expressive with my hands. Like, I'll put a heart up to like the camera and everything, but like my camera's not on, so y'all can't see it. But then I mention it, so like you guys can imagine me just doing like the little doki. Okay. So this is okay. So again, now 9. Yo, you guys are awesome. But this, let me know if any of y'all remember this. But this is something I used to sing as a kid. Was an old lady, skin and bone. Ooh, she lived down by the old graveyard. Ooh, one night she thought she'd take a walk. Ooh, she walked down by the old graveyard. Ooh, she saw the bones laying around. Ooh, she went to the closet to get her broom. Ooh, she opened the door and boop! Yay? Nay? Does anyone remember that? Does anyone remember that? That was like a really old nursery rhyme I used to sing. I don't know. See, I'm still on a crap top. So, and I haven't yet tested a face cam feature, so I don't exactly know how well that would go. It certainly isn't out of the realm of possibility, but for now it's kind of a no, because I don't know how to go. Nope, but it gave me goosebumps. Yeah, like, I don't know. That was, I guess, my introduction, quote unquote, to horror. So I always like the whole ooh. But yeah, from this website it's kind. This was a woman all skin and bones, and for me it was always an old lady, which I feel sounded better, so I said I said old lady. But yeah, that was a lullaby. Okay. It is now time. Oh, I say that, but I need a drink for it. It is now time for a drink of water. Just water, guys, no worries. fresh aqua. Oh, I keep popping my back every time I breathe. Alrighty, everyone. Y'all ready? Oh, and I just realized I closed my stream by accident. Did I pause it? I don't know. Breathe. This is Digimon, the unseen episode. Summer is the best time for garage sales. One day last summer, I found an old guy selling anime VHS tapes and DVDs. Most of them overpriced, but the old guy went, "I bet you didn't come to buy this. Digimon, the unseen episode. Deal of the weekend. Only known cop in existence. Only 99 cents. Even I haven't opened it." By the way, welcome for adding stories to Sunday streams. Yes. Ooh, you added some? Did you? Thank you. I decided to buy it, and when I put the tape in my VCR, my life was never the same. The video begins right away with no FBI warning, no 20th Century Fox logo, no preview with the kids flying into the black void when the letters come into my face. But this time the letter spelled out, "Go away now." The Digimon that were in training digivolved as normal, only in more demonic forms, like Agumon being dark blue, having horns like the devil, and red glowing eyes, and Gabumon having larger fangs, devilish wings, and a blood-red coat. The intro was twisting and turning, with the theme reversing, distorting, and changing pitch just like a YouTube poop. Well, if that doesn't date this creepypasta. When the Digimon logo appeared, the individual pixels started falling off the logo and harmed the Digidestined. The kids were screaming in pain like it was real. The Digidestined were sailing in a sea of blood. TK was choking Kairi over what seemed to be nothing. Zora was having a seizure, and Joe was spinning his head without touching it. Matt suggested they should take everyone to the hospital, considering there weren't any hospitals in the digital world that the kids knew of. They decided to go to a huge white building the kids thought was a hospital. The screen faded to black for 2 seconds, indicating a commercial break. When they got to the building, the walls were trying to eat the kids. The people were sinking to the floor like it was quicksand. Salamanders were coming from the cracks of the walls and floors, just eating the kids' flesh bit by bit. Agumon was told to digivolve into Greymon. When he digivolved, he melted into a pile of red fluid. Tai put on his goggles and opened one of his eyes popped out of his head through one of the lenses, leaving a load of blood where his eye used to be, dripping to his foot. Gabumon was told to warp digivolve to Metal Garurumon. When he did, though, he was rusting and ate mad in a whole gulp. Trying to fire missiles at the building, he ends up killing TK and Kairi. Lilymon and Groudumon appear and pretty much beat Joey's Gamamon and Tentomon to death. Zora got shot by Mimi with a 44 Magnum. Mimi tells the Digimon that the building's going to be blown in 5 minutes, but they keep getting sucked into the floor. And when the building explodes, before we could find out what made the building blow up, the TV changed to what I like to call the Snow White channel, when the TV displays black, white, and gray pixels. I tried to eject the tape, press the stop button, press the rewind button, but nothing worked. So I decided to wait for the tape to rewind itself, but when it did, the tape was gone. Not the VCR, not in the box, nowhere. No wonder they call it the Digimon Unseen episode, because it can't be unseen. Okay, the gore level on this one is what I remember the Ashamed creepypasta being like. But that one was a little weird. I'll give it that one. That one was a little creepy. Like the whole... the melting to the floor part, I think. Agumon trying to digivolve and then him just go... and then the eye popping out. That got me. That made my heart sink. That creeped me out. But the rest of it was just kind of weird, I gotta say. And I will catch up on the hydration train. is 12:03. We have time for maybe one more spooky story. So, let's see. So there is the bride story. Um, the bride. Is it a scary story? Um, oh. Known as the Mistletoe Bride, Bride and Seek, or the Missing Bride. A legend of this appeared in the book Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. Ooh. Okay. This is on the scary story for our Scary for Kids website that we got some of our last stories on. Oh, it's only a 2-minute read though. I'm not scared. I mean, okay, I'll be honest. That one did kind of creep me out. At least, like I said, the whole melting and like dying part. No clue. I just click and saw. Okay, that's fine. Since it's a short read, we can read this one. And then I did find a Wattpad that seemed to have a bunch of different stories. Oh. Yo, Wattpad would be a good place to find creepypastas, I guess. So this is from Scary for Kids. It is called, it just says Bride, really. The Bride is, I guess this is kind of synopsis. The Bride is a scary story about a young woman who goes missing on the day of her wedding. It is based on an urban legend known as the Mistletoe Bride, Bride and Seek, or the Missing Bride. A version of this legend appears in the book Scary Stories Shared in the Dark. Okay, so kind of what I already read. A young couple got married, and after the wedding they held a reception in the bride's grandmother's house. All their family and friends arrived, and they laughed, danced, and sang long into the night. After the wedding reception, the guests decided to play a game of hide and seek. The groom covered his eyes and began counting to 100 while his new bride and the others guests ran out of the room, looking for somewhere to hide. Eventually, the groom had found everyone except for his beautiful bride. The other guests began calling out her name and searched everywhere for the young woman. They began to grow more and more uneasy when they couldn't find any trace of her. Eventually they gave up searching, and everyone assumed that the girl had run away and left her husband. As the weeks went by, the husband has accepted that his beautiful bride must have had second thoughts about their marriage. He decided to forget about her and go on with his life. A few years later, a cleaning lady was dusting the attic when she came across an old trunk. Out of curiosity, she opened it. Inside the trunk, she found the rotting corpse of a young woman so dressed in a bridal gown. There was a wedding ring on one bony finger. It was the missing bride. She must have hidden in the trunk and accidentally locked herself inside. It was impossible to tell whether she suffocated or starved to death, but her face was frozen in a silent scream. I like that one. And actually, we have 30 more minutes. I guess I did start to actually 10:30 instead of 12:15. So we can definitely keep going. Kelpies! Ooh, you're right, Phoenix. We forgot about the Kelpies. Okay. That one was interesting. Kelpie scary story. Ooh, a Kelpie creepypasta. Okay. Okay. This one might be good. Don't be playing an ad on my phone. Peekaboo. Peekaboo. I see you. So, Kelpies are next. I see you're a man of culture. Okay, so this one, I heard the mistletoe bread one before and got goosebumps when I first heard it. I don't think I've heard it before, but it was definitely an interesting one. I think I've heard maybe something similar. I don't really know. This one's kind of a long read. I don't mind. Sponsor cards. Let me see if this says who was made by. Okay. So this one is on creepypasta.com. Why? What's wrong with my whisper? You don't like hearing me talk so close to your ear? So close that you can feel my breath on each individual part of your ear? I just want to get nice and close. I want to tell you a story. One for your ears only, and it'll be the last story you'll ever hear. How you doing, little mama? Let me whisper in your ear. Tell you something nice that you might want to hear. You have a sexy ass booty and you need to know. And I don't know the rest of the parts of that song, but there's that song, Whisper in Your Ear, by those two guys. Peekaboo. I am so sorry for that. Okay, so this one doesn't say who was written by. But like I said, okay, so we'll post this one in the chat. Boop. creepypasta.com/Kelpie. I wasn't very old when I first saw it. Maybe about 5 or 6 or so. It was a long time ago, but I remember it well. For what feels like the longest time, the whole experience of it felt like a dream. Like it never really happened. Just a little image in my head. A half-forgotten memory. Maybe it didn't. I can't remember exactly where the place was, just what it looked like. I was the same with the people there. No face or name, I could say now. Maybe they weren't even there. Just additions by time to the memory. Slowly changing the devils in the details. But they don't matter. They never did. What did matter was the Kelpie. It was summer. I was playing near the bayou, not far from my grandmother's house. I had been sent there to spend the duration of the warm season. My mother thought it was good to breathe fresh humid air instead of the city smog. My summer that year was spent with my grandmother down south. She was a fierce old lady, second generation from Scotland. Often she would tell wonderful tales of the lochs and forests from her parents' homeland, about all the creatures that lived within the waters, and all the ones that lived in the trees. One of my favorites was the Selkie, beautiful seal women who could change shape at will as they sunned on the rocks or swam in the sea. Another was it's Ich Usich, a more ferocious beast, but also quite interesting to me. My grandmother said that they could take the form of a singing woman, where they would lure sailors into the sea and drown them in the salt water when they got close like sirens. The one I loved the most was the unicorn. Such a majestic, mysterious creature. I liked how pure it was told to be. I had always had a desire to see one, to touch its pure white coats. But I knew they weren't real, just stories, just tales. But I liked to pretend. One day, I went down to the bayou to catch a fish. I was very proud of myself. Uh, I was very proud of myself having made a pole from a stick and some string. My grandmother laughed and said if I caught a fish, she would cook it for me. I became very determined to the task. I told her I would be back before sundown. I waded the banks of the water, legs crossed and pole in hand. There was a small bit of uncooked bacon on the end of the line. I knew I was going to catch a fish. I just knew it. My train of thought and concentration was broken by music. Someone was playing a fiddle. The sound was enchanting. I looked around for the source, not finding one. I tried to follow the sound, abandoning the pole on the bank with the line still in the water. I quietly crept along the bank, walking until I found the source of the music. I found who was playing the fiddle. It was a young man sitting on a branch of a large tree. The limb hung just above the water, and the young man lay against it, suspended over the mirrored surface, playing a tune to his wooden fiddle. The white strings started to glow in the faint morning light. He stopped when he saw me and smiled. No words came between us, but he beckoned for me with his hand to take a seat on the mossy bank, and he continued to play. The music was wonderful, and when the song ended, I asked for him to play another. He nodded, but only if it went into the water. My grandmother had been very keen with me to keep out of the water. I could not swim at the time, and she made me promise to stay on the bank. So I removed my shoelaces and let my legs dangle in the cool, calm water. He played another song. When he finished, he beckoned with his hands for me to come closer, deeper into the water, like he was going to tell me a secret and whisper it in my ear. I shook my head. I had made a promise. The young fiddler seemed sad, disappointed. I can't quite remember the details of his face, but I can just remember his frown. He sighed and rolled off the branch into the dark water without a splash. Just a few small ripples came from where he entered the bayou. He never came out of the water after that. I went back to the house as my grandmother called me my name. First around to get my pole. A tiny minnow was at the end of the paperclip hook. I almost told my grandmother about the young fiddler, but I didn't. She would just think it strange and say it was nonsense. The next day I went back to the bayou banks, fishing pole in hand. I said to my grandmother I would catch a bigger fish. I told her I would be back before sundown. I went back to my spot and sat cross-legged, pole in hand. There was a small cut of deer on the hook. I sat and waited for a fish to bite. My thoughts thrilling off about my grandmother's stories. They were stopped by the sound of laughter. It was a girlish laughter, light and soft. I was curious. Usually the bayou was so lonely. Just the call of faraway birds and the hum of cicadas. But the laughter broke through it, right into my head. I followed the sound, leaving my pole on the bank of the line in the water. Moving silently, I walked along the bank. In the same place with the low-hanging tree limb was where I found the source of the laughter. That small, watery grove seemed just a little different. A large gray rock sat in the middle of the water, emerging from the deep. I hadn't noticed it before. Possibly just hadn't remembered it from when I met the young fiddler sitting on the rocks with 3 young girls. They looked a few years older than me. All of them had long weight around them like thousands of waved silk strings. Hearing them laugh made me happy. I don't really know why. I got closer and sat on the bank to watch them. The girls were as beautiful as the Selkies in the tales my grandmother told me. They all had fair skin and seemed to glow in the dimmed bayou light. One of them met her dark eyes of mine. She beckoned with a finger towards me. She wanted me to come and play. I wanted to. They seemed as though they were having so much fun up on the rock there. I took off my shoes and rolled up my pant legs. I waded in up to my knees and my feet sunk slightly into the slitty mud. But looking down into the water, I remembered I couldn't swim. I sadly stood there, sorrowful that I could not join these new friends. One by one, they slid effortlessly into the water and swam toward me, only their eyes visible above the water with their hair flowing behind them. They swam around my legs, barely disturbing the water. One pulled gently at my leg, another at my hand. I shook my head. I couldn't. Disappointed, they sighed damselly, and let go of my hand and left, slipping away like the water they swam in. That was some good timing. Did y'all hear that? The music sighed after I said they sighed. I didn't want them to go. I almost swam in after them, but I heard my grandmother call my name. I went to get my pole. A small fry was at the end of my line. I almost told my grandmother about the Bayou Silky girls, but I didn't. I felt like they were mine, somehow. Like a secret that only I would know. The following day, I settled again. I was going to get a bigger fish. I had to. This was my last day in the bayou. I was going home the next day. I told my grandmother I would be back before sundown and went to the bank to fish. With the pole in my hands and my legs crossed one after the other. There was a small strip of gator meat at the end of my makeshift hook. I gazed off into the dark, still water. It seemed almost dead. Lovely, but dead. A metallic blue dragonfly landed on the water, took a sip and flew off. I watched it go. My attention was then turned to the most unusual noise. Hooves and a neigh. There were no horses in the bayou, so I started to wonder. I pulled my pole down on the bank and let the line sit in the water. I followed the sound of the braying horse. Yet again, I came to that same place. The willows hung low, the tree lambs just sat above the water, and the rock was empty of any silky girl. Standing by the tree on a small island bank in the middle of the water was a unicorn. It didn't have a horn, much to my disappointment, but there it was, a pure white horse. It pawed at the ground with long furrowed hooves. Its mane was elegant and shiny. It seemed to glow, just like the silky girl's skin and the young man's fiddle strings. It was beautiful, even if it may not have been a unicorn, as the bayou girls were not silkies, and the young fiddler not the singer singing Ix-Ushich. It looked towards me and waved its head up and down, up and down. It was calling me to it. Without hesitation, I got into the water. I didn't even take off my shoes. I stood knee deep. The white horse trotted into the water and began to swim to me. I hoped it would play with me on the banks, or at least in the shallows. It stopped, though, just a little further out from where I was. It could stand there, but then again, it was much bigger than me. The water couldn't be too deep over there, could it? It looked towards its back. It was offering me a ride, and in the excitement, I forgot all about my grandmother's words and went deeper into the water, up to my chest, then my shoulders. The water felt suffocating as it went higher and higher. I felt like my lungs were being crushed under the pressure of it. I held my hand out to the white horse. It was still just out of reach. I took another step and the water was to my chin. My fingers brushed over its silky mane. Water weeds had collected in it, giving it green flecks here and there. I went to touch it again. This time, though, it felt more sticky, like tape or glue. Looking down to the water, the white horse had lost its glow. It seemed more gray, darkening the further down it went until it was almost black. Maybe it was just the water. My foot slipped. I went down under the water. Opening my eyes in the panic, I was horrified at what I saw in front of me. Where the white horse bearing the legs would have been, I only saw smooth, black, decaying flesh. Waterweed stewing in and out of it. The back legs fused together in a slowly fanning tail. It was like something out of a nightmare. I immediately stepped back, my movement slowed by the water. I turned around and my head broke the surface as I reached the shallows. I scrambled onto the bank and looked back. The white horse was gone. I felt relief, and although I deeply missed the white horse, where had it gone? I heard my grandmother call my name. In my soaked and muddy clothes, I ran by my fishing pole. A large catfish was on the end of the hook. I left both and hurried back to my grandmother's house. I told my grandmother about the white horse. I did this time. I left out the sulky girls and the young fiddler from my story. And I did not mention the nature of me falling into the water, but I asked her about a white horse in the water. She told me a tale about a kelpie. It was a water demon that often took the shape of a beautiful white horse, among others, such as a handsome man playing a violin or a young maiden. It would offer a ride to anyone willing, then take them into the water and drown them. Nothing would ever be found of them. That night I forced myself to go back there. I needed to see if it was real. By the light of my torch, I followed the path I had taken as I had searched for the source of sound. But after hours of searching, I could not find it. No green willows, no low-hanging tree limb, no rock. I went back home the next day, happy to be away, yet desperate to go back until I did. I never did. Until recently. My grandmother had died about a month before. It had been years since I had seen her, in fact. She had visited only once since the time I spent the summer with her. I had traveled down back to the bayou, back to her home to pack up her things and sell the house. I had nearly forgotten those 3 days down at the banks of the bayou. The whole summer had been a blur that year, but going there brought those memories back. For so long I had dismissed it as a dream, or some dull event of meeting other people. A man playing an instrument, some girl swimming in the water, an animal on the bank, a deer perhaps, or a white goat that lost its way. Nothing out of the ordinary for the South. Maybe it was just my imagination that I saw a white horse and pet its mane. But to reassure myself of this childhood nuisance, I decided to go and take just one little look that morning. I ought to be back before sundown. I found my old fishing spot. My pole was still there somehow, as if I had just left it. I found the fresh carcass of the catfish I had left 3 years before. I tossed it into the water. Curious. Then I heard music, fiddle music, and laughter, and the sound of a horse. I followed it and I found that same place. The place with the willows and low-hanging tree limbs, and the rock and the opposite bank with the tree. Once I got there, all the music and laughter was gone. The tree limbs sat empty over the water. The rock, isolated and alone. On the opposite bank was the white horse. The kelpie. It shook its head and beckoned me over. Something seemed strange, not quite right, out of place, but against my better judgment, I took off my shoes and stepped into the water. Faintly I could hear hissing, a quiet screeching noise. It sounded like it was coming from the water. I ignored the sounds and went deeper into the bayou. Finally, it was getting too deep to stand. As I kicked off the bottom, my foot hit something sharp. I don't think it bled though, so I continued to cross the water without a thought. I couldn't shake the feeling that something was under me, swimming, maybe even multiple somethings. I climbed to the bank as I got close. The kelpie kneeled. It was offering me a ride. I remember what my grandmother had said about these offered rides. I took a box knife from my back pocket and held it behind my back just in case. Opening the blade, I stepped closer and hesitantly put a hand on the magnificent beast. Its white hair was soft and felt like water in my hands. I told myself I shouldn't. I had one of those feelings that you get going to a dark tunnel at rally. You know it could be dangerous, and most likely it is, but you still go. I seized the knife and sat atop the white horse. It stood and pranced in a circle. I laughed. Oh, how I wish I had done this years ago! Looking up, I saw the young fiddler laying on the low-hanging tree limb. He plucked a string and began to play. He had a handsome face, with shaggy blonde hair hidden under a hat. His clothes looked old, like he was from the Wild West. The three Bioselkie girls came out of the water and lay atop the rock, laughing and brushing out the water weeds with their fingers. I noticed their faces this time, soft, delicate features, with shining dark eyes and smiling mouths. They all seemed so happy, I started to feel the same. A large grin was struck on my face, though after a moment, that was replaced with a feeling of sickness, worriment. I had a deep ache in my stomach. I was scared, but of what? I tried to lift my hands from the white horse's neck. I wanted to get off. I wanted to swim to the other bank and run away from this place. My hand wouldn't move. I pulled at it with my free hand, but it was stuck, like it had been glued. I watched in horror as the white horse's coat began to gray before my eyes, becoming darker and darker. Finally, it became an oily black. Light shined off of its different colors. It turned its head toward me. No longer was this beautiful creature I had seen across the bank. It was a monster, the Kelpie. Its eyes were blue and clouded, and I could see its jagged teeth through a decayed mouth. A long greenish black tongue leapt out of its jaws. The Kelpie's skin started to become a sticky black goo engulfing my hands and surrounding my legs. I called for help from the young fiddler and the Selkie girls. It was like they did notice me shouting at them. When they did finally look at me, I realized they too were not as they seemed. No longer were the Selkie girls beautiful and young. Their skins were green and rotting. One of them was missing an eye. They gazed lazily at me with tilted heads as if they were frowning at me with disappointment from their retracted lips and bare teeth. At my fateful decision to ride the Kelpie, the young fiddler, his clothes torn and half of his face pulled away, plucked a few sad notes before his skin began to bubble and turn black. The Selkie girls did the same. Slowly they all dissolved, bone and flesh, into the same black goo of which the Selkie was made. Gradually they drifted into the water and dissipated like ink, becoming underwater smoke. As soon as they were gone, the Kelpie leapt into the water with me on its back. As it dove deeper, I tried to pull away. The melting black Kelpie skin was slowly crawling up my legs and chest. I was running out of air. I snatched a box cutter from my pocket and cut at the Selkie's decaying flesh. It screeched and looked at me with its dead eyes. I saw my own reflection in them. It was angry, it was in pain, and it looked ready to bite. I slashed it again, and it bit at me. Just inches from my face, I had freed my legs as I tried to cut away the black flesh around my arm and hand. The Kelpie jerked and changed directions, causing the box cutter to dig into my arm. Silently screaming, I watched in horror as the last of my air escaped towards the surface. I cut at it again, and I was free. At a small glimpse, I noticed I was at the bottom. There were bones down there, human ones. In short look, I counted at least 4 skulls. The Kelpie screamed and swam off into the dark water as I pulled myself to the surface. I gasped and coughed as my face was touched by the warm and humid bayou air. I looked around. Nothing was moving. Dead silent. I noticed a small ripple a few meters away. It got closer and closer, then disappeared. Only a second passed before I felt something grab my ankle and yank me back under the water. I was being dragged back down. The Kelpie seemed insistent that I never make it back to the banks. I opened my eyes to see myself face to face with the Kelpie. Its black mane flew around. Below me, the silky girls were grasping at my ankles. I jabbed the knife forward into the Kelpie's eye. It screamed again, such an inhuman noise that made my ears feel as though they were about to bleed. I no longer felt the hands grasping my legs. The grip around my ankle was gone. The Kelpie, screaming, swam away, the box cutter still in its eye. I swam back to the surface. Quickly paddling my way back to the bank, I hoped that the Kelpie would not come after me for revenge. As I reached the stealthy shadows, I slowly walked forward, holding my freely bleeding arm. Blood dripped into the water from my fingertips. I crawled up onto the mossy bank and lay on my back for a moment, catching my breath. I sat up and tore away the water weeds that had wrapped around me on my way to the bottom of the bayou. My legs were covered in mud up to my knees, blackening the ends of my rolled-up jeans. I looked around. It was nearly night somehow. The sun was gone and the first few stars had begun to shine in the darkening sky. The quiet and beautiful lagoon had changed the appearance, just like creatures they inhabited. The rock was mossy, crumbling, cracked. The low-hanging tree, limp, sat broken, sticking up out of the water. All the willows were dead, their leaves decaying upon the ground in clumps. The rest of the trees looked sickly as well. Nothing here was healthy or alive. I backed further away from the water. My hand touched something smooth. Looking behind me, I saw it was the remnants of a polished fiddle. It looked broken, untouched for years. Further away, I saw the remnants of 3 colorful beach towels. They were just threads now. The skeletons of fish were around every discarded item. Looking closer in the weaves, I noticed more. Dozens of them, left behind by those who rode the Kelpie. I never went back to the bayou, as I sold my grandma's house to a happy family from upstate New York and handed them the keys. I warned them not to get close to the waters. There might be gators. As I got in the car and I started to drive away, I watched as a little boy tugged at his mother's sleeve, saying, "I'm going to the bayou just to have a look. I'll be back before sundown." I drove away, my heart giving an empty ache for the mother of that little boy. Yes, I told myself, he'll be back before sundown. That was the story of the Kelpie. I like that one. That Kelpie, that was a good Kelpie one. It's always like after I read, I always have to like take a proper breath, like, whew, just have a nice long sigh, just so I can like, I guess get my breathing back to normal or something. But it is now 12:30. It's been I love it. I know, I actually love that one too. But it is now 12:30. We actually did get a good bit of progress done on this. I think I got kind of what I wanted to. I got some plants going. I got the rocks. We'll try and finish this up next Sunday. Got a little bit there. And then we'll put more plants on this side. We'll do a bit more with the landscape. Maybe get some tall, rocky, mountainy looking things. I love it. I don't get scared. No, Becca. But we'll keep working on this. We won't color this house just yet. I guess we'll get the finer details first. But I just want to say thank y'all so much for watching, and just everyone who popped out to the stream, you know. Of course, thank you Phoenix and Becca for coming out as always. Of course, Nick and Anthony for both popping in. Steven was in. We had my friend Stefx. She was lurking as well. And we have a few options on who we can raid. So we have 2 people. Apparently, okay. So we have King Copa, who is doing more raids, trades, battles, and giveaways for the Pokemon DLC. And then there's also King Corfish, who is apparently streaming Pokemon Ultra Sun. So if we can quickly decide, wish me luck. Almost 2 a.m. here to be up. Anthony, no! Why? Yes, you go to bed. You can go to bed. You can go to bed. Oh my god. Thank you, Richard, for telling a spooky story, which I survived. Yes. You all survived another night. I commend you on your bravery. I'll be seeing y'all next week. But yes, Anthony, don't do that ever again. You don't have to stay up for my you don't have to stay up if you ever need to get up early in the morning. And that goes for all y'all. Like, you don't have to stay up if you don't need if you need to do something. But yeah, from whom I'm sub to, we can let's raid. I don't know. Y'all choose who we raid. And like I said, we have King Copa and I guess the other king, King Corfish, who are both flat right now. I'm leaning a little bit more towards King Copa because he has less viewers, you know. But let me know who y'all decide. Spooky is my middle name, so it's Phoenix, Fearwolf, Spooky, Shadowblood. Hello, I've been listening in the background as I play Oxygen. Yo, like, you could be streaming that, and we could have raided you. You know, just saying. No, I'm kidding. Let's see. Let's go. One's for King Copa, 2 for King Corfish. You are King Cobra. Okay, so it looks like Becca has a vote for King Copa. But I decided to just do that just in case. And maybe I can start doing the whole 1 and 2 voting things later on. Maybe, question mark. But I'll wait a little bit longer before we go ahead and start doing any sort of raids. That's perfectly alright, Becca. You know what, before this takes any longer, let's go ahead and raid King Copa.
It's the game you love.
Sorry about that, everyone. It's the game you love, Pokemon Sword and Shield. 1, 2. Yeah, we'll go. You said King Cobra, which I guess I took it as King Copa. But as always, when you're around here, I'm Richard. Like, comment, subscribe. You guys already know the whole dealio. And as always, stay kind, be awesome. Tip which says a heck of a whole lot. Apparently, something's messing up. But I'll be seeing all of y'all next time. Peace out.